Where was this Chennai Super Kings at the beginning of IPL? Because now 230 for 5 on the back of Devon Conway's 52 of 35. Ayush Matre and Urvil Patel both showing that yes, in 2026 and 2027 they're going to be vital players for CSK. And one more guy who should be a constant regular starter, Brevis, 57 of 23, fell on the last ball of the innings, which means MS Dhoni won't come out to bat. And we have seen for the last time MS Dhoni bat in IPL 2025, that was against Rajasthan Royals at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. But what a performance by Chennai Super Kings. GT, in order to keep their top two hopes alive, they have to ensure that they win this, because if they don't, then they need other results going their way. Gentlemen, do you think GT can chase it down?
I think it's going to be tough, because anything over 220, 225 odd, with Gujarat Titans, they do have a pretty strong top three. Sai Sudarshan, Shubman Gill, Joss Butler have done bulk of the scoring so far in the tournament. As the middle order, as I think I said it in one of our previous dugouts also, that it's good, but is it like really good enough to step up on those occasions wherein GT would require them to do the job? Well, I think that's one of the question marks that the middle order would want to remove this time around, because if GT can probably surpass this total, I think then they would head into the playoffs as the most complete team. Maybe, even slightly better than Punjab Kings. Overall, I think a great performance by CSK. Siddharth has obviously spoken a lot about them. Pretty average bowling also, I feel. There were lack of variations, and sometimes maybe, things could have been tried in a different way. Something that Mohammad Siraj completely lacked in the death overs, and so did Arshad Khan. So, even Gerald Coetzee, I understand the rationale behind him playing ahead of Kagiso Rabada, because Rabada is not going to be there for the remainder of the matches for GT. Assuming they also progress beyond any of the qualifier or eliminator that they play. So he's also pretty much down on pace. Rashid Khan has had a pretty underwhelming tournament. So pretty average bowling. But I think
again Prasidh.
Yeah, Prasidh.
2 for 22.
His cutters, his back of a lane deliveries have turned out to be good. But yeah, my prediction would really be that I expect CSK to finish on a high.
Where was the CSK's batting order? I don't understand. This batting order should have been since day one, and we saw the results today as well of that. The Chennai Super Kings needed to send a Shivam Dube or Devol Brevis every day of the tournament ahead of Ravindra Jadeja, Ravi Chandran Ashwin, Rahul Tripathi, all these people. All throughout the season, they were letting the finishers come for a specific role. But the way they actually discovered Shivam Dube was actually by sending him at the top of the order. Today, they did exactly that. They were not utilizing him to the fullest. They were not utilizing Devol Brevis to the fullest. Today, because of the start they got, they sort of promoted both the finishers ahead in the 11th over itself. But on any other day in the 11th over, if 2-3 wickets would have fallen, you would have seen Jadeja or an Ashwin coming ahead of the two in Shivam Dube and Devol Brevis. So I don't understand what exactly what Chennai Super Kings doing, because this is exactly what Chennai Super Kings should have done all throughout the season, and maybe the results could have been absolutely different. Deepak Hooda did not even get the opportunity to bat. This was happening with the Shivam Dube, Devol Brevis all throughout the season. This was the mojo, this was the template that Chennai Super Kings should have followed all throughout the season. Maybe these are good signs for the next season that will be played in 2026. So maybe if this is the thought process that they continue to follow, that's a positive to take. But I was anyways expecting Chennai Super Kings to finish on a high. Yesterday I remember saying it quite a few times that I see Chennai Super Kings winning this game, because I feel that I know the ground, the high scoring nature, no performances in the Chennai Super Kings. But somehow you do bank on Shivam Dube and Devolt Brevis because they are the impact players. They really can leave an impact on the game and take the score to 200, in excess of 200, what we saw today. So I think finally Chennai Super Kings very late. I think last game of the tournament is when they've realized what the right batting order should have been. But better late than never. I hope these are good signs for CSK fans for the upcoming seasons, because they should be happy seeing this change in the batting order. I think it's a very big signal to what the thought process has finally. They are ready to accept that the T20 cricket has moved ahead and there cannot be finishers specified for just the last 3-4 overs. You need to push them up because they are your best batters in this batting lineup. They're better than Jadeja, they're better than Ashwin, better than Dhoni. That's why they should be batting up top. And Urvil Patel, again, I think he showed what he's capable of. One of another player who I'm surprised wasn't picked in the IPL auction, keeping in mind the kind of form he had in the shortest format heading into this tournament. So very surprising. He had the fastest T20 century too, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
so,
Syed Mushtaq Ali had the fastest.
So you did not know buyer for him. That was surprising. But when he came to the IPL, I think Chennai Super Kings have invested in the right person in that sense. So good signs. GT again, I don't think, I feel even if they lose, I don't think they should be. I think we'll have a lot of time to talk about that later on as well. But I personally don't see them chasing this total.
Yeah, 231. It would be the second highest chase in IPL history then.
I think GT would really have the best of the conditions to chase, because in a day game in Ahmedabad, you would fancy your chances batting in the second innings, something that has been the trend in the last couple of seasons or so. I think the best example that I can remember of in a high scoring game was GT versus RCB. Will Jacks, scoring that 100
or 41, yeah.
And,
but that
RCB,
was 199.
Yeah, about 200 only. Still
yeah, they chased it down in 16 overs in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
In 5 overs, I think he completed his 100 from 11th to 16.
Yeah.
So they would still have the best of the batting conditions, but then 231 on any pitch and on any given day, even against a weakened team that hasn't really done well so far in the tournament, I think it's a tall order.
Yeah, I mean, you got Khalil, Noor, Anshul, Jaddu. That's your bowling lineup when you look at. You'll get one more in...
Patirana, most likely.
But is Patirana fit?
He is a part of the...
He is in the impact.
Yes, he's in the impact.
So yeah, then you'll get
CSK
Patirana.
are only playing Conway, Brevis and Noor Ahmed. So yeah.
They will have another foreigner, yeah. So that's why, CSK have got the buffer for their bowlers to ensure that they end it on a high. Because remember, even in 2022, CSK played the last game against GT at Wankhede and they didn't end it on a high. They in fact had a very low scoring game which they lost pretty badly. So here, GT would want to ensure that they don't lose momentum, but CSK would want to end on a high, considering 2026 and 2027 they would want to do really well to make up for
loss. What has exactly happened to the teams that were on the top of the table? Suddenly they've started to lose. This will be the 4th day in a row when a top team ends up losing a game. Could end up losing a game and then dent their chances for the top 2 spots. For GT, I think in that sense, batting still isn't a concern. It's their bowling. Even if they don't win today, I think there's nothing much to read into too much in their batting. Bowling has started to sort of leak runs. It's at the top also they are going for runs. Rabada won't become available for the remaining of the tournament. So all of these things they'll need to figure out. And
see, the equation is very simple. If GT win, finishing on top, that's guaranteed. No one can dislodge them on the top. So they will be the first team when you look at to seal top spot.
And also assured of a top 3 finish.
Top 2 finish. But if GT lose, and if they want to still be in the top 2, then they have to hope that either MI wins versus PBKS and LSG beat RCB.
But coming back to the question that Shashwat asked as to what the top ranked teams, what has happened to them, I think that's what break does to you. It can help a team get back into some kind of a momentum that they had lost prior to the suspension of the tournament. And I think with RCB, they have been impacted the most because they did not really play for a couple of weeks before
2 weeks.
Before they actually lost to Lucknow Super Giants the other day. So Lucknow Super Giants? Sunrisers Hyderabad. They are going to play LSG.
They're somewhat not getting the right mojo for the bowling. I think this had to happen with them. They'll not even have a Joss Butler moving ahead. So bowling, they really need to strengthen it, but they don't have too many options. Ishant Sharma, Arshad Khan have been the two who have been sort of rotating all throughout the tournament, but these are your only two options, and they have been leaking runs on a consistent basis.
I think CSK won a good toss. That's what
Yeah.
helped them, and that's why they have
But
gotten
who will
to
they
230.
play in the playoffs? That's going to be a problem. Kodze, they will continue with, but then the bowlers that they have, they're not utilizing them to the fullest as well. They did not use a Sai Kishore. Now that there is no Rabada, you can use a Sai Kishore in a very different way and much more. You can give the new ball to him as well. I don't think that would be a problem with Sai Kishore. So they need to do something about their bowling, because now 2 games in a row they have conceded 230.
Yes, I think against LSG also they have conceded at the same venue, by the way, where the final could happen. So that is why
Final will happen.
Final will happen.
They
of
be
course.
there or not? That's
Yeah, but GT, some problems are cropping up in the bowling. Agreed. So they will have to ensure that their bowling woes are sorted. But yeah, none of the top team has benefited from that break. It's now evident. Every team has lost. Whatever advantage Punjab had, they had the most for 2 games. But yesterday's loss to DC ensured that advantage is also negated now. If GT lose, what has been the common trend? The top teams' bowling has let them down. GT, both games their bowling has let them
RCB
down.
bowling let them
RCB
down.
bowling let them down against
Punjab
SRH.
bowling let them
Punjab bowling let
To
them
an
down.
extent, maybe batting also. Because
No. Runs they had enough
Yeah, runs
runs
they
on
had,
them.
but
Even
maybe
Shreyas
about
Iyer
10,
said
15
later on.
short, yeah.
No. Shreyas Iyer later on said that we were 10-15 above par in the post match. He said.
maybe better batting by DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Bowling.
Poor bowling by.
They lacked their bowling. They didn't have a Chahal, and then I
Yeah.
think that counter attacking happened. So it's been Punjab
Because
bowling
you
also.
remember that Praveen Dubey over, 16 runs came with four consecutive. I think Karun Nair hit all
Yeah,
those 4
sweeps,
boundaries.
yeah.
So that is why that changed the entire momentum of the game. So that's why the bowling of all the top teams, if you look at it, Punjab and also RCB, you look at GT, MI we don't know yet. MI they'll face on Monday, but it's been a big issue. So that's why momentum has been lost. The bowlers' rhythm has gone. So that is why.
No. With GT, I don't think that's the problem, because it was Rabada who was stepping up at the top,
Rabada hardly stepped up at the
and
top.
Rabada didn't even play much.
Didn't play much. I mean, in fact, they've had
Who were their
problems.
who were their bowlers?
Prasidh, Siraj.
is still doing well.
Siraj.
is now going for runs. Siraj is still going for runs.
Ravi Srinivas, Sai Kishore is also doing okay.
You know, if squad do we have?
Yeah.
Kareem Jannat is there.
Kareem, no, they can only play now Gurnur Barar, or they
Kulwant
have
Khejrolia.
Kulwant Khejroli.
Kulwant played a
did
game,
play. He did
Yeah,
play against, I think, RR, if I'm not mistaken.
So
He
they
played one game.
need to now find, or I would personally want Sai Kishore to bowl with the new ball, and then you can use Arshad in the middle. Then if he's not that,
Who
comfortable
all have
with the
not
new
played yet for
ball. Gurnur
Punjab?
Barar has
There is
Mahipal Lomror, has he played?
Jayant Yadav, Dasun Shanaka, Mahipal Lomror, Anuj Rawat,
Kumar Kushagra.
Manav Sutar, Kumar Kushagra, Gurnur Brar and Nishant Sindhu. All of them haven't
So
played.
you can play Dashum Shanaka also.
Nishant Sindhu, whether it's CSK or GT, he just doesn't manage to get a game. Again, look at Chennai, who all have not played. Nagarkoti hasn't played.
Shreyas Gopal has.
Shreyas Gopal hasn't played. Ramakrishna
Mukesh
Ghosh hasn't
Chaudhary is
played.
also not played.
Andre Siddharth hasn't played.
Nathan Ellis has.
Ellis has played. Ellis has played a couple of
And
games.
Mukesh Chaudhary.
Mukesh Chaudhary played 1 game, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think he got hit for 20 runs in 1 over.
A spinner will be starting for Chennai.
Was it? Okay, Jaddu.
Jaddu will start.
Jaddu will open proceedings against Shuman and Sai Kishore, Sai Sudarshan, sorry. Sai Sudarshan, do you think this is a season when he's going to go past 750 runs? Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. It is possible.
He's at 600.
638, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he will.
Because he's got potentially 3 games.
I expect
This
him to score at
qualifier or eliminator, and if he goes to eliminator, he's got 2 more games.
I expect him to score at least.
Yeah, so
70.
Patirana is in, and I think Conway is out.
Yeah,
if I'm not-
Conway is out.
Conway is out. So yes, so you're thinking GT are not chasing it. You're also thinking GT are not chasing it. Got to make it 3 out of 3. I don't think.
3-0 in favor of CSK.
But is it true that if Chennai even win this, they are still finishing
Yeah,
bottom?
guaranteed a wooden spoon. Yeah.
Even if they win by 80, 90 runs?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So yes, that's the first time
That's
it's.
what also Dhoni said at the toss, na, that even
Yeah.
if we win this game, it's not really going to matter much. Our
Exactly.
position will not change.
Position will not change. Indeed. So yes, we'll be back for a lengthy post-match debate on what happens. Have GT sealed the top 2, Or are we going to go into Monday and Tuesday to figure it out? So, thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this mid-inning. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis from me, Gulati, and Shashwat. It is bye-bye. See you soon.